The bright studio lights of The View illuminated the panel as cameras rolled. Patti LaBelle, the legendary singer known for her powerful voice and outspoken personality, had joined the show as a guest to discuss her latest memoir and her career in music. Joy Behar, a host notorious for her blunt commentary, had been pressing Patti about sensitive topics, her personal struggles, political views, and even choices in her career. "But Patti," Joy began, leaning forward, "don't you think sometimes you've been too dramatic? About your health struggles? I mean, we all deal with challenges, but isn't it a bit over the top?" Patti's smile stiffened. Her hands clenched slightly in her lap. She had always been confident, but there was a limit to her patience. "Excuse me?" Patti said firmly, her voice rising just enough to capture everyone's attention. "Too dramatic? Joy, I've lived through experiences you cannot even imagine. My pain, my victories, my life, don't you dare minimize it." The cameras picked up the tension immediately. Audience members in the studio shifted in their seats. Co-hosts Abby and Whoopi exchanged worried glances. Joy tried to interject, gesturing with her hands. "I didn't mean—" But Patti was not done. Her eyes flashed with intensity as she leaned slightly forward. "You've interviewed thousands of people, Joy, but don't presume you know what's dramatic for someone like me. I've faced adversity, I've faced sickness, I've faced criticism all my life. And yes, I express my feelings because that's who I am." The studio erupted in murmurs. Joy took a deep breath, trying to maintain her composure. But Patti's energy was palpable, fiery, unyielding, and undeniable. "You know what, Joy?" Patti continued, her voice rising further. "There are millions of people out there who've been through more than you can even imagine, and I will speak my truth. If that makes you uncomfortable, that's not my problem." The moment hung in the air. The producers, sensing the intensity, exchanged quick signals. But Patti wasn't backing down. The audience, meanwhile, leaned in, captivated by the raw honesty and emotion pouring from the legendary singer. "Patti, I think—" Whoopi started cautiously. Patti cut her off, shaking her head. "No, I'm not apologizing for being real. I'm not apologizing for living my life out loud. This is me!" By the end of the segment, it was clear. Patti had made her point. The clash was not just verbal. It was a statement about dignity, respect, and the right to be heard. After the cameras stopped rolling, the tension in the green room was tangible. Patti sat quietly, sipping water, her mind still buzzing from the confrontation. Producers and staff approached cautiously. "Are you okay, Patti?" one asked. "I'm fine," she said, her tone calm now but firm. "I needed them to understand. Sometimes people think just because you're famous, your experiences don't matter. I needed to remind them and the audience that my life, my voice, and my story are valid." Joy Behar, meanwhile, sat across the room, looking thoughtful. She had expected Patti to be passionate, but not this raw. "I didn't realize—" Joy started. "I didn't mean to—" Patti shook her head gently, cutting her off with a soft smile. "It's not about you, Joy. It's about the millions watching who relate to what I've gone through. If my words make someone feel empowered to speak their truth, then I've done my job." The producers, relieved that the confrontation had ended without escalating further, reflected on the segment. Social media would explode in minutes, and already clips were going viral. Fans were tweeting support, calling Patti a queen for standing her ground. "You were amazing," a young assistant whispered. "People are going to love this." Patti leaned back, a small grin forming. "Sometimes you have to erupt. Not out of anger, but out of necessity. If you don't, your voice gets lost in the noise." Even Joy couldn't help but nod slightly, acknowledging the power of Patti's words. There was respect now, even in the aftermath of confrontation. It was more than a clash. It was a lesson in boundaries, confidence, and the courage to stand tall. By evening, the segment had gone viral. Clips of Patti LaBelle standing her ground, eyes blazing, voice commanding, were circulating across YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Fans commented in droves, "Patti is iconic. She speaks the truth." Joy had no idea what hit her. The story didn't stop there. Entertainment journalists began writing pieces on the confrontation, analyzing the dynamics between celebrity guests and talk show hosts. Experts praised Patti's ability to maintain composure while delivering an assertive message. It wasn't just a clash, one journalist wrote. It was a moment of empowerment for anyone who's ever been dismissed or underestimated. Patti reminded us all why she is a legend. Patti, meanwhile, reflected on her day at home. Sitting in her living room, she watched fan reactions and read comments with a warm smile. "This is why I speak," she said to herself. "Not for applause, not for approval, but so people remember they have the right to be heard, just like I do." Interviews followed. Patti reiterated her points about self-respect, boundaries, and living authentically. Joy Behar, now more measured, publicly acknowledged Patti's perspective, noting the passion and sincerity behind her words. In the end, the clash became a cultural talking point, not for controversy, but for respect, empowerment, and authenticity. Patti had not only defended her personal story, but she had also inspired millions to embrace their own truths. And as the world buzzed with debate, one thing was clear. Patti LaBelle's eruption was not just anger, it was a declaration of dignity, courage, and the enduring power of a voice unafraid to speak. The View had witnessed a historic moment that would be replayed and remembered as an iconic clash of honesty, integrity, and sheer passion, a moment that transcended television, reminding everyone why Patti LaBelle remains a legend.